All right. While I'm here, I've got another project. It seems like I've been doing a lot of weed eaters lately, and I've got another one. It's just this one's a 4-stroke and not a 2-stroke. So let me show you what I got. So here we have, this is a Troy-Bilt, and it is a 4-stroke, the TB675EC. So we don't have to mix any oil and gas. You know, you just put regular gas in it, and here's your oil. But everything else is about the same. Looks like it's been through it. The guy just loved this thing and couldn't get it to start. And I've had it sitting back here for a little while. I guess it's time to get started on this thing. And I haven't done anything to it. The only thing I did pull on the pull rope, and that's about it, just to make sure that there was that I felt some compression in there. And everything else, no, I haven't looked at the carb. I haven't done anything, but yeah, the gas is completely dried out. I can see the fuel lines coming down. The filter looks good. So yeah, I haven't done anything at all to this. So before I add gas and all this good stuff, looks like it has a new plug on it. I'm going to check the oil. Yeah, just do some basic troubleshooting on it, right? And see if we can get this sucker started. Alright, so yeah, it's kind of sitting in the sun. You can see there's going to be a lot of shade back here, so hopefully it's not going to mess up the visibility of the video here. But I am going to, like I said, I'm just going to check the oil. Yeah. The oil is very, very low. I'm not seeing anything at all. Huh. That's not good. So I'm going to have to put some oil in this thing, and hopefully there's no oil leak or anything like that. I already checked the gas. It is bone dry. The bulb is still flexible. It's not cracking or anything while I'm pressing it, so that's good. Maybe this angle will be a little better. But I'm going to go ahead and take the air cleaner off and take a look and see what's under here. We'll set this aside. I know I'm going to clean all this up a bit. So I guess the first thing I'm going to do is add a little oil. It doesn't take much at all. It's a pretty small oil pan under there. But let me put some oil in and put some gas in, and we'll see what happens. Alright, I just put gas in it, and I had to take a little bit back out. It's so hard to see the level there. The window is so cloudy, and then with new oil. But I have it probably just a tad past halfway up. And that's what they're showing here on the for the max level. When you're looking through the window here, can you see what I'm doing? Or fuel in it. Let's put a little gas in it. Let's see if I can do this without spilling it all over. I've been clumsy all day. Alright, it tried. Surprisingly. Alright, so that told the tale. We know we're getting spark. We know it'll try to fire. We have oil in it now. We have fuel in it, but obviously the fuel is not getting up into the carburetor. See, the bulb is still dry there, so let's take the carburetor off and see what it looks like. Alright, I got that off, but you can see the plugs going to the bulb here. They were just completely off. And the lines are pretty brittle, so I'm sure that's what the problem was. But while we're in here, I'm going to go ahead and take the carburetor off and clean it, and then replace these fuel hoses. So that's interesting. This stays in place, this thing. You just slide the carburetor down into the slot almost. Line up your gaskets and all that good stuff, and that should do it. So there's an O-ring. Everything looks good on it. But let's measure off these hoses that we need. I'll go ahead and empty the tank so I can reach the hoses. Alright, so you can see I'm having to take this cover off. It looks like the gas tank is sandwiched in between the two panels, and once I take this piece off, it'll slide out, and I can take the fuel tank off. But it's one up here, and I believe there are two at the bottom. Alright, there we go. So there's the flywheel. Hopefully no springs were on that. Whew, you don't want to get your finger stuck on that, do you? Those suckers are sharp. Let's set all that aside. Slide the gas tank off now. So now we can replace all the fuel lines. So this has been replaced before. This is definitely not a factory placement here. Let's see. Let me see what I got. My handy box of fuel lines here. This one might fit. Let's make sure it's going to fit over these. Alright. So, I don't know if it's going to fit in there. Let me get some WD-40. I think I'll be able to squeeze it in there. Yep. It doesn't have to go far. This is the return line coming from the bulb. Okay, I think that'll do it. I'm just going to measure it off. It was going from here up to the bulb, so the bulb is about right here, right? Yeah. Better too much than not enough, so I'll cut it way up here. Now let's see what we can do with this. Is that The filter looks new. But we're already in here, so we might as well replace it, right? Looks like when you use the same size. Yeah. I'm going to go ahead and cut this one off. Okay, so this is where my little pull wire comes into play, if you can see that. Is the video even on? Yeah. So see, I'm going to fish this through. It sticks out here. I'm going to cut this at an angle so it'll pipe through the hole. Insert that and let the bulb, or let the barb, grab onto the fuel line like that. And let's see if we can pull it through. And a little WD-40 is always nice to have. That should be enough. Alright, let's see if we can fish this through. Here we go. So I know I need to pull this out a little bit more, but I'm going to put the, well, let's see, that's probably too much already. I'm going to cut this off and put the filter, here it is, we might as well use a new filter. Let's use one of these. I like these because they're weighted and they'll hang out at the bottom of the tank here. There we go. So that one up here, this one went up here. So it needs to be cut about right there. Let's see how that goes this way. Yeah, that's about right. Alright, that worked out pretty well. And this one is for the return. Oh, this is the return. This one goes from the carburetor up to the bulb. So we'll put that in after we clean out the carburetor. Man, I've got all kinds of junk over here, don't I? Alright, so let's open up the carburetor. Give it a quick cleaning. You know, I have a feeling though, I'm going to go ahead and pop it open and see what it looks like. I was thinking that the carburetor might have been clogged, but I think the problem was with the hoses being unattached to the bulb here, right? That's why there was no fuel circulating. But I will go ahead and take a look, since we have it off anyway. Yeah, everything looks pretty darn clean in here. So alright, well, let's get this carburetor back together, or back on. It goes this way. So let's hook up this hose. You can see it's going right here. This is the throttle. So I guess I should hook that up before I hook up the fuel lines, huh? Now hook up the fuel line. This will go up to the bulb. This side might be a little too long. I was expecting that. Better safe than sorry, right? There we go. Alright, let's get this sucker in place. All right, let's get our pull assembly on next. All right, that's on. Fuel tank is on, secured. So we need to get this on. And there's always going to be a little slack because now we have to hook up the bulb. So when we hook up the bulb, let's see, let me make sure how this is going to sit in here. So the biggest thing here when you're looking at the bulb, so this long one is the return and the short one is where it's sucking in, right? So here's the return. We need to hook this up to the long one, and we'll cut this down to size and hook this up to the short one. So it'll be pulling fuel through the filter, through the carburetor, and then pushing it down back into the tank. So, alright, so now let's see if there's still too much on there. Alright, let's put some gas back in here and see if we can get the fuel circulating through the carburetor. Okay, that was with the choke on. Let's go halfway. Well, I think I just broke the pull engagement there. Darn it. Sounded like it was about to work, huh? So the more I look at this, I keep playing with these springs. I think part of this tab has broken off. On both sides. Because you can see and this spring is giving out. See the little slots right there? They're supposed to be part of this tab is inserted in there, and it's only supposed to move from here to here, right? And this spring, you can move it this way, and the spring keeps it taut against this side of the slot, right? So I guess I'm gonna have to buy some parts. I need I don't know what you call these things, the little ears here. Yeah, I think they snapped on this side. There's supposed to be a little peg or to keep it from, just supposed to move from there to there. Same thing with this side, from there to there. Alright, so it's been a few days, but I went ahead and got, I actually found these little deals. Let me open one up and show you. And it was kind of hard to find. I looked up, you know, the Troy-Bilt model number and all that stuff, but it didn't have the exploded view of all these little parts. It just had the block, and this was part of the block, right? It called out all this stuff, but not on the drive shaft here and your little flywheel. What are they called? A starter pawl kit. So these pawls were not included, but by a stroke of luck, I did find these by stems. 155586, and the MTD number is 753-08159. But they do fit multiple models. So. dump these out here. A package within a package. Yeah, so you can see. Yeah, I hope these fit. That goes in there, and then the spring load keeps it which way? This way, and it stops right there, right? It stops there. So it's that little bitty tab right there, that one little tab broke off on both of them. And they're tiny. I mean, oh well. Let's put one on and see what happens. Might be kind of hard to put on. So here's the spring. Let's see. Which way does it go? So that end goes around there. This one goes in here. So that's the way it's supposed to sit. So here's the tough part, is getting these little C-clips on this back side. This might take me a little while to do. It's hard to see. I think that got it. All right, let's get the other side. I do believe that's got it. Alright, well, let's put all this back together. Well, I think that's got it. Everything's pumping through. It's got plenty of oil, and I don't see any leaks. So it's kind of disturbing that it was just totally empty on fuel. I mean, on oil. But it sat here for a couple of days, and there's no leak. Let's see, that's on. Let's put it over. The choke is on. Let's see if it'll start.
let's see, I need to adjust the idle.
Alright, I think that got it. So it was just a matter of cleaning out the carburetor, replacing the fuel lines, and then those little pawls on the, was it the starter pawl kit? Little bitty plastic pieces, and don't know how long it's going to last, but for now it's working. So I'll get this off to this guy. He'll be a happy camper. And I guess that's it for this video. So once again, thanks for watching. Be sure to subscribe and watch for my next video.